Is kind of the look you're going for with the text streaks project. So this is what a finished one will most likely look like. Um, I'm going to show you some key things to get it set up. So let me just go ahead and open up my little start file here to kind of show you what I've done. We've got a couple layers created here. If you look, I just went ahead and made these a background layer. A layer will actually make my streaks, your letter layer, which is a locked layer after you've created it, and then finally you need guides to help you draw out your lines. So the first thing you need to do is get a ruler up and pull the guide out, and you need to find a guide that's going to be on the angle that you're going to want to draw at. So you can actually rotate guides, which is kind of cool. And you want to pick an angle that's going to look good for this kind of streaky effect. So you can preview what it's going to look like and plan it out that way a little bit. So I think I'm alright with that. It looks decent. I'll click OK. And I can move my guides now into place. And so what I'm looking at is anywhere where there's a point that meets at the edge of the line. And I'm going to pull out guides so that I can kind of follow those paths. So you may want to do it in sections, like do all the top parts of the letter or the side parts of the letter. Since I'm only doing one letter as an example, I'll just show you all of them at once. But you can copy guides. I'm going to make a copy of these guides, and you can copy just like you copy a shape. You hold down the Option key. And I'm just trying to line it up with all the points, and you can move them afterwards so they're not set in stone. And it'll just help me visually see where to draw that. Once I have my guides drawn out, now I can lock them so that I'm not actually drawing on them. I'm going to undo my streaks layer, because that's where all my streaks will be drawn. It's going to be behind the letters layer so that it shows up behind that shape. The other thing that I think is pretty important is to turn on your smart guides. That'll help you snap your pen tool anchors to the right spot. And you want to find a shade of colors. There's some easy ways to do that. One way, if you don't want to do like the grayscale, you can make any color a spot color and then tint it. So let's say I wanted to do these blues in shades. I can double click on my swatches palette here, and you can change this to what's called a spot color. And with spot color, you can then change the tint and save all those different tints and shades. So now I can make this. I can actually just rearrange these here. I can make a new folder. And I can, let's say lower these by 20% every time and get all my different shades in here. Oops. And that lets me just kind of use the same blue but have all these different tint shades of it. So now you have your colors set. You can use them. You're going to use your pen tool to actually draw out the shapes. And I'm just following this path of my guides to draw it out. And the nice thing is with that pen tool, it snaps to intersection points if you have that smart guides turned on. So you want to draw all the same shapes or all the same shaded colors at the same time. I think that's the easiest way to go about it. So maybe I'll just make those top two the same color. And you can always check to see how it's looking by turning off and on your guides. You can do any fine tuning at the end as well. Now you notice this one's on top of the other shape, so some of it you may have to send back. You can go Object Arrange Send Back, or you can use a shortcut which is Command bracket key. It allows you to send objects backwards. It's up to you how dark or how light you want to make some of these areas. You can kind of pick what you think looks best. Probably can be that shade looks a little bit nicer. And that's really all there is to it. It's kind of a cool project. You can get some really neat looking designs. And, if you want to do like shapes, you can try out some shapes and things like that. So that's texture. That's just one letter, but you'd probably use a few more and just put a bunch of names together to get something like that possibly, or that. Good luck.